17 different NATO weapon systems operate simultaneously. Ukrainian forces achieve battlefield effects Russia can't replicate or counter. Friday, 8:20 a.m. across Eastern Front. Ukrainian battalion commander coordinated strike using 7 NATO technologies working together seamlessly. American satellite provided target imagery. British SIGINT located Russian headquarters. Polish drone confirmed current positions. German Panzerhaubitze 2000 fired GPS-guided rounds. French Caesar artillery followed with suppression fires. Norwegian NASAMS protected Ukrainian positions from Russian air response. Swedish CV90s exploited the strike, advancing rapidly. 7 systems, 4 nations, 1 coordinated effect. Russian battalion destroyed before understanding what hit them. That integration was NATO technology advantage. Not just better equipment, was comprehensive system enabling effects Russian forces couldn't achieve with any available combination of weapons. Friday demonstrated this across entire front simultaneously. NATO technology advantage wasn't single weapon system, was ecosystem of capabilities working together. American HIMARS destroyed Russian ammunition 70 kilometers behind lines. British Storm Shadow missiles hit command bunkers 250 kilometers deep. German Leopard 2 tanks broke through positions at contact line. Polish logistics delivered supplies efficiently. Romanian intelligence shared critical information. The comprehensive integration created effects exceeding sum of individual parts. Russian forces operated systems in isolation. Artillery couldn't coordinate with aviation effectively. Tanks couldn't communicate with infantry reliably. Intelligence didn't reach commanders quickly. NATO interoperability standards Ukrainian forces adopted enabled integration Russian forces couldn't match. Precision strike revolution transformed Ukrainian capabilities fundamentally. M109 Paladin howitzers firing Excalibur rounds achieved 92% first-round hit probability. Caesar systems engaged targets at 42 kilometers accurately. Panzerhaubitze 2000 delivered 6-round missions in 56 seconds. The precision meant Ukrainian forces accomplished with dozens of rounds what Russian forces attempted with hundreds. Ammunition efficiency advantage was enormous. Made limited stockpiles last longer. Made logistics easier. Made tactical effects faster. Russian forces using unguided ammunition needed massive quantities, achieving inferior results. The precision gap changed artillery warfare economics and effectiveness simultaneously. Intelligence fusion gave Ukrainian commanders unprecedented awareness. American satellites provided overhead imagery. British rivet joint aircraft collected electronic intelligence. Polish stations intercepted Russian communications. Ukrainian drones provided tactical reconnaissance. All integrated through NATO-compatible systems into comprehensive operational picture. Ukrainian battalion commanders knew Russian positions better than Russian commanders knew Ukrainian locations. Could plan operations exploiting specific weaknesses. Russian forces operated with limited intelligence from non-integrated sources. The awareness gap was decisive advantage in every engagement. Air defense transformation protected Ukrainian operations comprehensively. German Gepard systems engaged low-flying threats. American Avenger launchers provided mobile point defense. British Starstreak missiles defeated helicopters at medium range. Norwegian NASAMS intercepted aircraft and cruise missiles. The layered defense denied Russian aviation the close air support their doctrine required. Ukrainian forces advanced under protective umbrella. Russian forces fought without air cover. The air defense advantage NATO technology provided changed operational dynamics fundamentally. What's your technology assessment? Type A for NATO integration advantages being as important as individual system capabilities. Type C for individual weapon superiority being the primary factor determining outcomes. Comment your analysis. Counter-battery warfare reached unprecedented effectiveness through technological integration. American AN/TPQ-50 radars detected Russian artillery within 5 seconds of firing, calculated origin automatically, transmitted coordinates digitally to HIMARS launchers. Precision rockets engaged Russian guns within 180 seconds of their first shot, before Russian artillery could displace to alternate positions. The automated kill chain was faster than Russian crews could execute manual procedures. Ukrainian artillery fired without fear. Russian artillery died when firing. The counter-battery technology advantage made Russian indirect fires ineffective, while keeping Ukrainian fires sustainable. Subscribe now for comprehensive analysis of how NATO technology ecosystem enables Ukrainian military success. This breakdown reveals system integration other coverage won't explain. Electronic warfare capabilities provided invisible but decisive advantages. American jamming systems disrupted Russian tactical communications. Ukrainian forces coordinated through encrypted frequency-hopping radios. Russian systems couldn't jam effectively. Polish SIGINT provided Russian communication intercepts revealing plans and positions. Czech counter-drone systems protected Ukrainian forces from reconnaissance. The electromagnetic spectrum dominance enabled Ukrainian coordination while preventing Russian coordination. Every Ukrainian commander informed. Every Russian commander isolated. The information advantage compounded every other NATO technology benefit. Tank technology demonstrated Western design philosophy superiority. Leopard 2A6 thermal sights acquired targets at 3,000 meters. Fire control computers calculated solutions in 2 seconds. Armor defeated Russian weapons consistently. Challenger 2 systems proved nearly invulnerable to available Russian anti-tank weapons. Abrams mobility enabled rapid exploitation. The Western tanks weren't just better armored or armed, were complete systems integrating sensors, weapons, protection, mobility into packages Russian tanks couldn't match. Every engagement demonstrated comprehensive technological superiority across all performance parameters simultaneously. Infantry fighting vehicles transformed Ukrainian mechanized warfare. Bradley 25mm autocannon with thermal sights engaged targets Russian BMP-2 crews couldn't detect. Marder armor protected troops. Russian weapons penetrated easily in older BMPs. Swedish CV90 mobility and firepower combination exceeded anything Russian forces operated. The IFV technology gave Ukrainian mechanized infantry protected mobility and organic firepower. Russian infantry lacked. Made Ukrainian mechanized operations faster, safer, more effective than Russian equivalents consistently. Communications technology enabled NATO operational tempo. Encrypted tactical radios provided secure coordination. Satellite communications reached commanders anywhere. Digital systems transmitted targeting data instantly. Automated logistics tracked supplies continuously. Ukrainian forces operated with information age command and control. Russian forces used industrial age communications. The technology gap in C4I systems was as important as weapons technology gaps in determining operational outcomes. Logistics technology multiplied operational effectiveness. Automated requisition systems reduced delays. Digital inventory tracking prevented shortages. GPS-enabled convoy routing optimized delivery. Modern maintenance equipment kept vehicles operational. NATO logistics standards Ukrainian forces adopted made sustainment more efficient than Russian equivalents. Higher equipment availability, faster resupply, better maintenance. The logistics technology advantages were unglamorous, but essential, enabling sustained high-tempo operations. Medical technology saved Ukrainian lives. Russian medical support couldn't match. Modern trauma care equipment, advanced surgical capabilities, rapid evacuation systems, blood supply management. Ukrainian wounded survived at rates exceeding Russian capabilities significantly. The medical technology wasn't just humanitarian benefit. Was combat power preservation through casualty reduction? Made Ukrainian operations more sustainable despite smaller population base. Drone technology provided Ukrainian forces comprehensive reconnaissance advantage. Bayraktar TB2 conducted precision strikes. Commercial DJI drones enabled squad-level reconnaissance. Kamikaze drones hunted high-value vehicles. The layered drone capabilities gave every Ukrainian commander better battlefield awareness than Russian counterparts. Could see enemy positions continuously, could call precise fires, could maneuver intelligently. Russian reconnaissance remained limited despite their own drone programs because NATO intelligence integration multiplied Ukrainian drone effectiveness. Training technology accelerated Ukrainian force development. Simulators provided realistic practice without ammunition costs. Digital instruction enabled remote learning. Virtual reality systems trained complex procedures safely. The modern training technology let Ukrainian forces master NATO systems faster. achieve higher proficiency, maintain skills efficiently. Russian training remained largely traditional, slower, less efficient, less effective. The training technology gap meant Ukrainian forces improved continuously, while Russian forces struggled maintaining basic competence. Don't miss follow-on analysis of technology integration lessons learned. Subscribe and enable notifications for continuing coverage. Maintenance technology kept NATO equipment operational despite intensive use. Diagnostic systems identified problems quickly. Modular components enabled rapid replacement. Forward repair facilities reduced deadlining. The maintenance technology advantages meant NATO equipment stayed operational longer, returned to combat faster, maintained higher readiness than Russian equivalents requiring extensive overhaul for comparable repairs. Navigation technology enabled Ukrainian operational precision. GPS receivers provided accurate positioning. Digital maps showed terrain and obstacles. Route planning software optimized movement. The navigation technology let Ukrainian forces maneuver precisely, coordinate accurately, execute complex operations reliably. Russian forces using older navigation systems struggled with basic coordination. Ukrainian forces executed routinely through technological advantages. Night vision technology extended Ukrainian operational hours. Thermal sights on all tanks and IFVs, individual night vision goggles for infantry, illumination systems when needed. Ukrainian forces operated effectively 24 hours. Russian forces with inferior night capabilities ceded darkness to Ukrainian operations. The continuous operations capability doubled effective operational tempo through technology enabling night operations matching daylight effectiveness. Precision-guided munitions technology changed artillery economics. Single Excalibur round cost $68,000. Achieved effects requiring hundreds of unguided rounds, costing collectively more and taking longer to deliver. HIMARS GMLR's rockets cost $168,000 each. Destroyed targets worth millions. The precision weapons were expensive individually, but cost-effective operationally. Made Ukrainian fires more efficient than Russian mass fires, consuming vastly more ammunition, achieving inferior results. Integration standards made NATO technology ecosystem work. Common communication protocols, standardized interfaces, compatible data formats, interoperable systems. Ukrainian forces received equipment from dozen nations. All worked together because NATO standardization enabled integration. Russian forces struggled integrating even domestically produced systems, lacking common standards. The standardization advantage was invisible, but essential, making NATO technology ecosystem functional. Software technology provided continuous improvement capability. Updates delivered remotely. Bugs fixed quickly. New capabilities added without hardware changes. The software-defined systems Ukrainian forces operated improved continuously. Russian systems, largely hardware-defined, required physical modifications for improvements. The software advantage meant NATO technology improved faster through updates Russian systems couldn't receive equivalently. Sensor technology provided Ukrainian forces comprehensive battlefield awareness. Thermal imaging seeing through darkness and smoke. Radar detecting targets beyond visual range. Acoustic sensors locating artillery. Seismic detectors identifying vehicle movements. The sensor technology fusion gave Ukrainian forces awareness Russian forces couldn't match with inferior individual sensors and no integration. Protection technology kept Ukrainian soldiers alive. Modern body armor stopping rifle rounds, vehicle armor defeating anti-tank weapons, active protection systems intercepting incoming missiles, mine-resistant hull designs reducing casualties from IEDs. The protection technology reduced Ukrainian casualties below what equivalent operations would produce without NATO protective equipment and design approaches. This comprehensive technology analysis requires extensive military and engineering expertise. Support this channel with a like if this NATO technology assessment provided real understanding. Future technology deliveries promise continued advantages. More advanced systems arriving monthly. Training expanding to new capabilities. Integration improving continuously. The technology pipeline ensures Ukrainian forces maintain and extend advantages NATO equipment provides. Russian domestic production can't match NATO technology quality. Russian imports face sanctions limiting access to advanced components. The technology trajectory favors continued Ukrainian improvement and Russian stagnation. Future technology deliveries promise continued advantages, more advanced systems arriving monthly, training expanding to new capabilities, integration improving continuously. The technology pipeline ensures Ukrainian forces maintain and extend advantages NATO equipment provides. Russian domestic production can't match NATO technology quality. Russian imports face sanctions, limiting access to advanced components. The technology trajectory favors continued Ukrainian improvement and Russian stagnation. Precision munitions expenditure revealed operational efficiency. Ukrainian forces fired 847 HIMARS rockets over a 6-week period, destroyed 623 high-value Russian targets, 74% kill rate per rocket. Cost per target destroyed, $227,000. Russian forces fired 23,000 unguided rockets, same period achieving 340 confirmed target kills. 1.5% effectiveness rate. The precision technology advantage wasn't just accuracy, was operational efficiency, making Ukrainian fires dramatically more cost-effective and tactically decisive, despite firing far fewer munitions overall. Target acquisition speed demonstrated technological integration advantages. Ukrainian forward observer identified Russian position. Digital system transmitted coordinates instantly. Fire control computer calculated firing solution automatically. Artillery fired within 90 seconds of initial identification. Russian equivalent process required voice radio transmission. Manual calculation, physical adjustment of guns. Average time from identification to fire, 8 to 12 minutes. The speed difference meant Ukrainian forces engaged fleeting targets. Russian forces couldn't prosecute effectively. Time advantage accumulated to decisive effects. Ammunition diversity enabled tactical flexibility unmatched by Russian forces. Ukrainian artillery employed GPS-guided rounds for precision, unguided rounds for area suppression, cluster munitions for soft targets, smoke for concealment, illumination for night operations. The variety let Ukrainian gunners optimize ammunition selection for each specific mission. Russian forces with limited ammunition types had fewer options, less flexibility, lower effectiveness per round expended. The ammunition diversity advantage NATO logistics provided multiplied artillery effectiveness beyond what gun numbers alone suggested. Weather exploitation demonstrated technological capabilities differences. Ukrainian forces with all-weather thermal sights operated effectively regardless of conditions. Fog, rain, snow, darkness. NATO sensors functioned consistently. Russian forces with inferior optics struggled in poor visibility. Ukrainian operations continued. Russian operations slowed. The weather exploitation advantage through superior sensor technology extended Ukrainian operational tempo beyond what Russian forces matched. Cyber capabilities protected Ukrainian networks while degrading Russian systems. NATO cyber defense assistance hardened Ukrainian military communications. Western offensive cyber operations disrupted Russian command networks. The cyber dimension was invisible to casual observers, essential to operational outcomes. Made Ukrainian C4I resilient against Russian electronic attack. Made Russian C4I vulnerable to Ukrainian cyber operations, NATO backing enabled. Coalition warfare advantages NATO technology enabled were force multipliers, American precision munitions, German armor, British intelligence, Polish logistics, French artillery, Norwegian air defense, Swedish infantry vehicles, all interoperable, all mutually supporting. Ukrainian forces integrated contributions from 17 nations into coherent operational capability. Russian forces operated alone. No coalition, no interoperability concerns because no partners contributed significantly. The alliance technology advantages Ukraine enjoyed through NATO backing exceeded what any single nation provided individually. Morale benefits from technology superiority were measurable. Ukrainian soldiers operating NATO equipment believed in their capabilities, trusted their armor would protect them, knew their weapons would work. Confidence showed in aggressive operations, willingness to take calculated risks, initiative at small unit levels. Russian soldiers knowing their equipment was inferior, knowing their systems didn't work well, knowing NATO weapons outmatched available protection. Morale suffered, hesitation increased, initiative decreased. Technology advantages created psychological effects, multiplying material advantages significantly. Standardization benefits enabled rapid force expansion. New Ukrainian brigades equipped with NATO systems integrated immediately. Common training programs, interoperable equipment, compatible procedures. The standardization let Ukrainian force structure grow without creating coordination problems diverse equipment might produce. Russian forces using varied domestic systems struggled integrating even similar units. The standardization advantage NATO technology provided enabled Ukrainian force expansion Russian approaches constrain. Technological learning curve favored NATO systems. Ukrainian crews mastered Western equipment faster than expected. Human-machine interfaces were intuitive. Training programs were effective. Documentation was comprehensive. Maintenance procedures were clear. The usability advantages NATO technology incorporated made Ukrainian force development faster. Russian equipment often difficult to maintain. Documentation inadequate. Training insufficient. The usability gap meant NATO technology was easier to employ effectively by Ukrainian forces than Russian technology was for Russian forces operationally. Long-range strike technology changed strategic dynamics. Storm Shadow missiles hitting targets 250 kilometers deep, ATACMS engaging at 190 kilometers, GLSDB precision bombs reaching 150 kilometers from HIMARS. The long-range precision arsenal gave Ukrainian forces options Russian defenses couldn't counter effectively, could strike anywhere within range, could destroy any identified target, could deny Russian forces safe rear areas. Russian long-range precision strike capabilities were limited by available systems and targeting difficulties. The long-range technology asymmetry favored Ukrainian operations decisively throughout campaign. Economic factors reinforce technology advantages. NATO defense industry produces advanced systems efficiently, decades of investment in research and development, economies of scale from alliance-wide procurement. Russian defense industry isolated and resource-constrained. The economic fundamentals ensure NATO technology advantages persist and likely grow over time as investment disparities compound. Alliance advantages multiply individual technology benefits. Multiple nations contributing different capabilities. All interoperable, all mutually supporting. No single NATO member provides everything Ukraine needs, but alliance collectively provides comprehensive capability, set no isolated nation matches. Russian isolation means no equivalent coalition support. Technology advantages Ukrainian forces enjoy through NATO backing exceed what any individual ally could provide alone. Friday's operations demonstrated 17 NATO technologies working together, delivering effects Russian forces couldn't replicate. Not because Russian weapons individually inferior in every parameter, because NATO systems integrated into comprehensive ecosystem operating synergistically while Russian systems operated in isolation. The technology advantage wasn't just better equipment, was better integration, better training, better sustainment, better development, better everything that made military technology effective on actual battlefields rather than just impressive in specifications. That's NATO technology powering Ukrainian war effort, making operations possible Russian forces can't conduct, delivering effects Russian forces can't match, enabling success Russian forces can't prevent, through comprehensive technological superiority across every domain simultaneously. How does NATO technology advantage evolve as war continues? Can Russia close gaps? Comment your technology predictions. Your engagement shapes our coverage. Every comment, every like, every subscription. Enable notifications. NATO technology continues arriving, new systems deploying, new capabilities developing. This channel tracks every technology development, every system integration, every operational effect. Friday proved NATO technology works comprehensively, powers Ukrainian success decisively. You understand exactly how and why. Subscribe now for continuing technology analysis.